Never bring a knife to a gunfight? More like never bring a gun to a giant anti-robot gun fight. Also, the gun has a knife on it. Astro Boy, Gundam, Mazinger Z. These are some of the things you might think of when people bring up giant robots and mechs in general from anime. And if they're not, then I guess I just don't know what the people are watching these days, but that's not really important. What is important is that you watch this show right now. A show I like to refer to as Metal Gear Solid Boss Battles the Anime. It also turns into Mad Max the Anime for an entire episode, with a train heist with robots. Seriously, look at this! This is a thing that happens, and it's not even like the main focus of the show. So why do I like to call this Metal Gear Solid Boss Battles the Anime? Well, just look at the main character. He's got the ponytail going that Big Boss has, they both got that smearing stuff on their face thing going, hiding in trucks, using giant barrels to attack enemies. I mean, this is some real Donkey Kong type stuff right here. And I guess, you know, they also both fight giant robots on foot, but that's not really here or there. It's just, you know, it's a coincidence. This is the only show I can think of that's main focus is one-on-one man versus machine fights. As in, the main character takes down mechs on foot without any mech of his own, using only landmines and a gigantic anti-tank rifle. His main weapon? The pile bunker, which is basically what would happen if you took one of Big O's arms and made it double as a gun. You wanna know why he's not in any spin-offs like Super Robot Wars? It's because he'd take out the entire video game single-handedly. Framed for a crime he didn't commit, our main character, Hunter Mellowlink, is sent on a decoy mission only 1 month before the end of the 100-year war. His unit, armed only with out-of-date anti-tank rifles and landmines, stands no chance against the dozens of enemy mechs they're put against, and gets completely wiped out. So, as the sole survivor, the resulting suicide mission is blamed squarely on Mellowlink's shoulders by the corrupt military, and his unit's good name is dragged through the mud. Now he's gotta prove his innocence the only way he knows how. With murder! From that point on, most of the episodes go like this. Mellowlink will roll into town on his badass motorcycle, find one of the men responsible, and then somehow MacGyver a way to beat his opponent, all on foot, in the coolest way he can think of. One of my favorite episodes doesn't even follow the formula the show usually goes by. Normally, it's Mellowlink being a badass, hunting someone down, but in episode 4, Leaning Tower, the showdown turns into a game of cat and mouse inside this abandoned spaceship that crashed into the desert at a 50-degree angle. So the entire episode is literally an uphill battle. Another plus for that episode is the main villain is actually voiced by famous anime voice actor Norio Wakamoto, who you may know from every anime ever, but since we're talking about games specifically today, he's the main voice of M. Bison from Street Fighter IV. So I know what some of you might be thinking yourselves, I don't even know what a Gundam is, let alone whatever the hell Mellowlink's robots are called. Do I need to watch the shows that came before this, or, you know, like, what's the deal with that? Well, let me try and bring you up to speed. Hunter Mellowlink is part of the Armored Trooper VOTOMS series. As a spin-off, it's completely separate from the shows that came before it, so don't worry about not understanding what's going on. One of the things these two series do share in common, though, is their almost pornographic attention to detail when it comes to how the mechs, and even the weapons in these series work. If any of you love reloading animation, then this is definitely the show for you. It even goes out of the way to show how his rifle works, with a quick scene where he uses the same ammunition as the arms of a downed enemy mech, by forcefully ejecting cartridges until he reaches one that he can use and load into his rifle for his signature piston attack. Even the fights are fairly believable. Mellowlink sets up landmines and tripwires beforehand, and you get this sense that he's constantly testing what the opponent's turn radius, and even what their mech's range is before he goes in for the killing blow during every boss fight. And let's be serious for a second, this is what they are, they're boss fights. Every single enemy in this show is extremely evil and cocky, even by evil anime bad guy standards. This show also has some of the best theme music I've ever heard. If you're walking down a dark alley and all of a sudden you hear, then don't even bother turning around because you're already harpooned like a shish kebab at that point. If I had to pick out one problem with this show, it would be the visuals. Time has not been kind to Hunter Mellowlink. And for good reason. Sometime in the early 1990s, the masters for this show were destroyed. What does that mean for you? Well, you can only watch this on either your choice of VHS or Laserdisc. There isn't going to be a Blu-ray, ever. But if you're looking to get into the mecha genre, and you don't want to watch something like Gundam that's heavily pulled down by things like politics, love stories, character development, and you just want to watch a show with a guy with a 6-foot-long sniper rifle bayoneting guys in mech suits straight into their face, then this is the show for you, and I highly recommend it. It's Hunter Mellowlink from 1988 or some shit like that, I don't know. Watch it, it's good. You know, now that I think about it, if Mellowlink is so badass and so good at taking down mechs, then why did they just sacrifice his whole platoon? Was everybody in his unit just as good as taking down robots single-handedly? If they were, they should have just, made a group of these guys and just trained people to be badass like Mellowlink. Is Mellowlink just that one guy who happens to be like that? Because if not, then they should just pretend to kill people's platoons and then make like dozens and dozens of Mellowlink soldiers and just send them out on crazy-ass missions. That would win the war that they were going against like pretty much immediately.